Constitution, the House members of the Philippine President, which was filed in 1941 against President Duterte. This was followed by an impeachment complaint against President Diosdado Macapagal in 1964. Both complaints were dismissed by the House of Representatives. Under the 1973 Constitution, the provisions for impeachment were rewarded. The grounds of graft and corruption were added to the existing grounds for impeachment, which are culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, and other high crimes. It also included the members of the Constitutional Commission to the list of impeachable officers. Finally, it granted to the National Assembly the exclusive power to initiate, try, and decide all cases of impeachment. Upon the filing of the verified complaint, the National Assembly may initiate impeachment by a vote of at least 1/5 of all its members. The only impeachment complaint under the 73 Constitution was filed by 56 lawmakers against President Ferdinand Marcos on August 13, 1980. The impeachment complaint was dismissed by the National Assembly the next day due to unsubstantiated allegations in the complaint. The present provisions for impeachment are found in Article 11 of the 87 Constitution, and it added the ground of betrayal of public trust to the list of grounds for impeachment as found in the 73 Constitution. It also included the Ombudsman as one of the impeachable officers in addition to the President, the Vice President, the members of the Supreme Court, and the members of the Constitutional Commission. The first impeachment complaint under the 87 Constitution was filed against President Corazon Aquino in 88 on the grounds of graft and corruption. This complaint was dismissed by the House of Representatives. Thereafter, several impeachment complaints were filed against President and Vice President of the Philippines, members of the Supreme Court, Ombudsman, and members of COMELEC. However, only 3 impeachment complaints had been endorsed by the House of Representatives to Senate for trial. The first is that involving President Joseph Ejercito Estrada in year 2000. 77 members of the House of Representatives, or more than 1/3 of the 218 members of the House then, endorsed the resolution of impeachment against President Estrada. I think Majority Leader was also in that Congress, and many others, including the Speaker. 11 Congress, and
a member of the 11th Congress.
thus the articles of impeachment,
Even the President of the Philippines.
and even the President, the incumbent President. Thus, the articles of impeachment were immediately transmitted to the Senate, and the impeachment trial began. However, before the trial could have concluded, President Estrada vacated Malacanang, and then Vice President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was sworn in as President. The next successful impeachment at the House of Representatives was against Ombudsman Gutierrez. 2 impeachment complaints were simultaneously referred to the Committee on Justice on August 22, 2010. Both complaints were considered by the committee, and upon a majority vote of all members of the committee, were deemed sufficient in form and substance. On March 1, 2011, the committee found sufficient grounds for impeachment, and on March 8, 2011, the committee found probable cause to impeach Ombudsman Gutierrez. Finally, on March 21, 2011, with a vote of 210 members in favor, the House endorsed the resolution setting forth the articles of impeachment against Ombudsman Gutierrez. However, before the Senate could begin its trial, Ombudsman Gutierrez resigned from her post on April 29, 2011. The very first impeachable officer to have been successfully impeached by the House of Representatives and convicted by the Senate was the late Chief Justice Corona. Similar to the impeachment of President Estrada, more than one-third of the members of the House, or 188 out of 285 members, endorsed the articles of impeachment against Chief Justice Corona. Trial in the Senate ensued, and on May 29, 2012, 20 senators voted for a guilty verdict against 3 voted not guilty, voting not guilty. Thus, Chief Justice Corona was convicted of the charge against him for betrayal of public trust and culpable violation of the Constitution. Former President and now Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo had been 5, 206, 207, 208. The 3 complaints were to 14 separately. Upon due consideration, the members of the Committee on Justice declared all complaints sufficient in form but insufficient in substance. The committee then submitted its report to the plenary together with a resolution recommending the dismissal of the 3 impeachment complaints. However, the 16th Congress adjourned without acting on the report and the resolution of the committee. So now let us proceed to the impeachment, the power of impeachment under the 87 Constitution. The impeachment power of Congress is found in sections 2 and 3 of Article 11 of 1987 Constitution. Section 2 enumerates the official who can be impeached and the grounds on which they can be removed by impeachment. Only the President and Vice President and the members of the Supreme Court and members of the Constitutional Commission and the Ombudsman may be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of 1, culpable violation of the Constitution, 2, treason, 3, bribery, 4, graft and corruption, and other high crimes, or betrayal of public trust. This list is exclusive. No other public official may be removed by impeachment, and no other grounds can be alleged other than those that was just mentioned. The next section, Section 3, outlines the procedure to be followed in impeachment proceedings. The first paragraph of Section 3 states that the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. Please take note of the phrase exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. This means that no other person, court, or tribunal can initiate the impeachment of a public official. The second paragraph of Section 3 describes the 3 modes of impeachment. This mode is by a verified complaint filed by any member of the House of Representatives, which is the mode chosen by Representative Alejano when he filed this complaint last March 16 and supplemented it last March 30, 2017. The second mode of impeachment is via a verified complaint by any citizen upon a resolution of endorsement by any member of the House of Representatives, which was done during the 2005 to 2008 impeachments, complaints of former President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, the 2010 impeachment of Ombudsman Gutierrez, and the 2014 impeachment of President Aquino. Finally, the third mode of impeachment is a verified complaint or resolution of impeachment filed by at least 1/3 of all the members of the House of Representatives, which was the mode used in the impeachment of former President Estrada and of former Chief Justice Corona in 2012. Section 3, on the other hand, also describes the procedure for initiation of impeachment complaints. Under the first two modes of impeachment, the impeachment proceedings are deemed initiated upon the filing of the verified complaint and its subsequent referral to the Committee on Justice. This is the ruling of the Supreme Court in Francisco versus House of Representatives, which is the prevailing jurisprudence on the matter. As in this case, the verified impeachment complaint filed by Congressman Alejano was filed before the SecGen on March 16, 2017, followed by a supplemental complaint also on March 30, and they were both referred to May 9, 2017, and thus, as I mentioned earlier, the same is already hereby initiated. Applicability of rules of procedure in impeachment proceedings. I'd like to tackle this so that this will guide all our members. With the impeachment proceeding having been initiated, the applicable rules that would govern our proceedings are the rules of procedure in impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives. These rules were adopted by the House on August 23, 2016, and were published on August 26, 2016 in the Manila Bulletin and the Philippine Star. Under Section 4 of the rules, upon due referral, the Committee on Justice shall determine whether the complaint is sufficient in form and substance. With regard to the determination of sufficiency in form and substance, we shall be guided by the precedent set by the Committee of previous impeachment proceedings. On the subject of form, the committee has consistently been liberal in favor of the complainants in determining sufficiency of form of the verified impeachment complaints. The only requirements with respect to form as found in our Constitution are: 1. In case of complaints filed by any member of the House, the complaint must be verified. 2. In case the verified complaints filed by any citizen, the verified complaint must be endorsed through a resolution, which is not the case in this particular proceeding. In all cases, the verified complaint must not fall under the one-year bar rule. In other words, the verified complaint must not have been filed within 1 year from the last impeachment proceedings initiated before the committee. With respect to filing of supplemental complaints, the committee had previously rejected the filing of a supplemental complaint before the committee during the 2007 impeachment of former now Congressman GMA. However, take note that in that case, the complaint directly filed the supplemental complaint and addendum to the complaint directly with the committee and not before the Secretary General as required under the rules. In this case, the supplemental complaint was filed before the SecGen, and therefore we have, as I said, ruled that this also is covered by these impeachment proceedings. In similar fashion, multiple impeachment complaints had been simultaneously referred to the committee before. In 2010, 2 impeachment complaints against Ombudsman Gutierrez were filed on different dates, but both complaints were simultaneously referred to the committee. Ruling on the propriety of such referral, the Committee on Justice ruled that although there were 2 different complaints filed, there was only 1 single impeachment proceeding initiated then by both complaints, when both complaints were simultaneously referred to the Committee on Justice. This ruling was even upheld by the Supreme Court in the case of Merceditas Gutierrez versus House of Representatives, where the court stated that the filing of an impeachment complaint is like the lighting of a matchstick. Lighting the matchstick alone, however, cannot light up the candle unless the lighted matchstick reaches or torches the candle's wick, and so on and so forth. Similarly, in 2014, 3 impeachment complaints against President Aquino were simultaneously referred to the committee. The committee then took cognizance of the said complaints and a single impeachment proceeding was initiated. Again, we shall be guided by these rulings when we determine sufficiency in form of the verified complaint and supplemental complaint, which were simultaneously referred to the committee on May 9, 2017. After the determination of sufficiency of form and assuming that the committee finds an impeachment complaint sufficient in form, the next step under the rules on impeachment is the determination of sufficiency in substance. Section 4 of the Rules of Procedure in Impeachment Proceedings state that the requirement of substance is met if there is a recital of facts constituting the offense charged and determinative of the jurisdiction of the committee. Following established precedents, the Committee on Justice has consistently followed the standard of individual appreciation by each member of the committee in determining whether a verified impeachment complaint is sufficient in substance. After proper manifestations and debates among the members of the committee shall vote on the sufficiency in substance of the verified impeachment complaints. This is where the political nature of impeachment proceedings come in play. The individual vote of each member represents the vote of his or her constituents on whether or not the impeachment proceeding should proceed to the next step, which shall now require the respondent to file an answer under oath and to submit affidavits, evidence, and other memoranda before the committee. The question of whether or not there is a need to subject the respondent to further steps in the impeachment proceeding is subject, and I repeat, subject to the individual appreciation of each and every member of the committee on the sufficiency in substance of the verified complaint, and we shall vote upon this, and all votes shall count. Once the committee determines the verified complaint sufficient both in form and substance, the next step is the determination of sufficiency of the grounds alleged in the complaint. This would require, under Section 6 and 7 of the Rules on Impeachment, the submission by the respondent of an answer under oath, affidavits and counter-affidavits, evidence and other memoranda before the committee. Should the committee find sufficient grounds for impeachment, the committee shall thereafter determine whether probable cause exists on the basis of the evidence submitted to the committee. Similar to the finding in substance, the determination of sufficiency of the grounds and the existence of probable cause for impeachment is left to the individual discretion of the members. This is due to the inherent political nature of impeachment, as earlier mentioned. Once the probable cause, or if the committee dismisses the complaint for insufficiency in any impeachment or its resolution dismissing the complaint. This is the end of the impeachment proceeding before the committee, and the House in election shall to override a resolution dismissing the complaint by a vote of 1/3 of all members of representatives. For today's impeachment hearings, we will be hearing impeachment complaint filed by Congressman Alejandro. In a nutshell, Duterte should be impeached because culpable violation of the Constitution, bribery, betrayal of public trust, and other high crimes. Complainant President betrayed public trust, committed bribery, and culpably violated the Constitution and committed and law enforcement officers and or
Action! News Alert!
Magandang umaga sa Action News Alert. Dinidinig na sa Kamara ang impeachment complaint laban kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Inihain ito ni Magdalo Party List Representative Gary Alejano. Matapos niya itong ipresenta sa House Committee on Justice, pagbobotohan ng komite kung sufficient in form and substance ang reklamo. Nag-ugat ito sa pagkabigo umano ng Pangulo na ipagtanggol ang teritoryo ng Pilipinas. Napaulat noong Marso na matagal na malagi ang barko ng China sa Benham Rice kung saan innocent passage lang ang pinapayagan. Samantala, sumalang na rin sa pagdinig sa Senado si dating DOTC Secretary Jude Abaya. Kaugnay ito ng balitang hindi pa magamit ang halos 50 bagong bagon ng MRT dahil walang signaling system. Ito kasi ang nagsisiguro na sapat na distansya sa mga tren at nagkokontrol sa bilis nito. Binili ang mga bagon noong Administrasyong Aquino sa halagang 3.8 billion pesos. Para sa ibang mga aksyong balita, pumunta sa News 5 Facebook page at tumutok sa aksyon sa tanghali. Ako si Naomi Dayrit, magandang umaga.
Action! News Alert! Kilala niyo ba siya?
Ang clue natin kanina, nga.
Kilala niyo rin ba siya?
Ang clue natin kanina, na text kay Pangulo.
O di kaya siya?
Pinakamagandang Pinay.
O siya?
Sino ang nasa litratong ayan?
Talasan na ang mga mata at sumali sa hula ho. Malay nyo, magka-cellphone load pa kayo.
Ito na po. Yan, 100 pesos cellphone load. Halo po kayo.
Tuwing Martes at Webes, dito lang sa Aksyon sa Tanghali.
Dito na tayo sa mambubulabog sa inyong tanghalian ng Showbiz Bulaga.
Mga chikang bubulaga.
Ano to, mama? Ano to?
Alam mo ba, si Ellen Adarna at si President Duterte ako, break na daw!
Sila ba?
Ay, ang tigita!
Mga balitang nakakagulantang.
Ay, di ba? Medyo nagulat naman na nakakalurk. Ay, ate ganda! Ay, bebe!
Kasama ang kondesa ng chika na laging busog sa intriga.
Ako po si Rose Magaya, nakakain ng kwek. Ewan ko sa'yo. At yan ang mga bumubulaga chika dito sa Showbiz Road. Ako po si Rose Magnaya para sa Showbiz Bulaga.
Showbiz Bulaga.
Sa tingin mo, magkamukha ba kami ni Ellen? Ano ba yan? Parang yung isama pa.
Lunes hanggang Biyernes, dito lang sa Aksyon sa Tanghali.
Magandang tanghali, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Mga jeep na dumaraan sa EDSA.
Alam niyo ba ang mga latest na balita?
Naka, hindi ko naman alam yan eh.
Yung napupusuan natin sa Miss Universe ngayon.
Philippines. Philippines.
Spell natin yung word na. Immigration.
Magaling ba kayo sa spelling?
Spell lang natin, mami, yung word na bureau.
Bureau.
S-C-A-L-L-O-T-W.
Yan ang aaksyonan. Kasama ang hani ng bayan. Si Hannibal Talete.
Dahil dyan, meron kaming bibigay sa inyo na premyo sa Rapid Tulpo Action. Action sa Tanghali T-shirt. Yan ang mga huling pangyayari mula rito sa Quezon City. Umaaksyon.
Sa AS. Dito sa Aksyon sa Tanghali. Ang mga hot issue ng bayan.
Mainit na balita ngayon ang pagkakasangkot ng mga pulis sa paglupot sa isang Koreano sa Pampanga. Hot topic pa rin ang utos ni PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa na ihinto muna lahat ng kanilang operasyon kontra droga. Actually, utos yan ng Pangulo.
Tatalakayin sa hotline.
Makausap natin si Senior Superintendent Leonardo Carlos, tagapagsalita ng PNP. Wala ba tayong pwedeng gawing hakbang o rin PNP?
On our part, we are making sure that we have a tight case against this policeman.
At siyempre, may opinion rin kayo.
Ayon kay Andrea Umali, para safe gumamit ng kondo. Tama. Tumigil na rin daw sana ang mga babaero. Sabi naman ni Macaraeg Arlene, dapat magpresenta ng medical certificate ang mga pumupunta sa ating bansa.
H2O. Hot issue sa hotline at opinion. Tuwing Martes at Huwebes sa Aksyon sa Tanghali.
Kayo pong nasa City Hall, tulungan niyo po kami magkaroon ng right of way. Humihingi po kami ng tulong dito dahil hindi po na kami nakapansin.
Francis, gusto ko lang makuha yung anak ko, ibigay mo na sa akin kasi gusto ko na makita yung anak ko, gusto ko na makausap.
Ay dyan sa AAA, marami na kayong nilokong tao. 3 taon ko nang binili yung baril, hindi nyo pa ibinigay. Balik nyo na yung pera ko!
Problema.
Kahit siguro ako, pupunta ka sa bahay, kung dala kang baril, baril mo, unahan kita, babarilin kita sa sintido mo. Ngayon pa lamang sir, na high blood na ako sir, hindi ako nagbibiro. Tumataas ng dugo ko. Sila na nga po yung pinagbabaril, sila nang inamatayan, sila pa yung nakakulong ngayon. Anong klase?
May aksyon on the spot.
Maraming salamat po sir Rafi sa tulong na naman sa akin. Ito na po sir yung 10,000 paunang bayad na ibinigay po sa amin ng